Welcome to the Georgia Professional Standards Commission Certification Overview for Georgia's Pre-K program. This webinar is designed to help teachers and directors understand the Georgia Professional Standards Commission certification process. Before we get started, let's view the agenda to preview the items that will be covered in the webinar. The webinar will include definitions for commonly used terms by the Professional Standards Commission. We will explore the certificate types and the steps for applying for certification. We will also look at the process for renewing a certificate. So let's take a moment to familiarize you with language that is used at the Georgia Professional Standards Commission. A Certificate of Eligibility, or a COE, is a letter issued by the Georgia Professional Standards Commission verifying that a teacher is qualified for certification after he or she gains employment. The Induction Certificate, or the IN, is a type of certificate issued to new teachers who have less than 3 years of experience within the last 5 years. The induction certificate period, which generally lasts for 3 years, is designed to ensure that early career teachers are fully prepared for the profession while providing opportunities for professional growth. The Georgia Assessment for the Certification of Educators, or the GACE, is Georgia's state-approved certification assessment program. The GACE assessments are taken by individuals seeking admission to an Educator Preparation Program, seeking Educator Certification in Georgia, and or seeking to become highly qualified in a core academic subject. A local unit of administration, or LUA, is a local education agency or a regional educational service agency, including but not limited to everything you see listed here. It's important to note that an early learning child care center offering Georgia's pre-K program is also considered a LUA. Verification of lawful presence is required by the state of Georgia to verify that an individual is lawfully present in the United States. The verification process includes an affidavit. Now that you are familiar with some of the terms used by the Professional Standards Commission, let's take a close look at the certificate types and the application process. If the applicant completed an Educator Preparation Program here in Georgia, he or she would apply for the Induction Pathway 1 or the IN1. Here are the steps for applying for the IN1. Go to www.gapsc.com and create a MyPSC account. This is the first step. From the MyPSC account, complete and submit the Georgia Professional Standards Commission initial certification application. Once the Professional Standards Commission evaluation is complete, the applicant may receive a certificate of eligibility. Once that is received, simply present the certificate of eligibility to the pre-K program, or the LUA. The IN1 application packet should include everything that's listed here: the initial certification application, the Georgia PSC approved program completion form, verification of lawful presence must be completed, the documentation must be submitted, official transcripts from all colleges and universities attended, verification of having met the following GACE exams: the Program Admission Assessment, the Content Assessment, the Georgia Educator Ethics Assessment, Program Exit, the ED TPA, the Pedagogy Assessment, and that's required for those who complete student teaching on or after September 1st, 2015. Documentation supporting the completion of identifying and educating exceptional children is also required for the IN1 packet. If the applicant completed an educator preparation program outside of Georgia and met student teaching requirements in Georgia, he or she would apply for the Induction Pathway 2 or the IN2. Here are the steps for applying. Go to the Georgia Professional Standards Commission website and create a MyPSC account. From the MyPSC account, complete and submit the GaPSC Initial Certification application. Once the PSC evaluation is complete, the applicant may receive a COE. Once the COE is received, present that to the pre-K program or the LUA. The application packet for the IN2 should contain the following. And here is a list of items. As you can see, the required documentation list here is very similar to the IN1. However, there is a difference, a slight difference. A paper copy of the approved program completion form is acceptable here, since out-of-state colleges and universities are unable to submit it electronically. If the applicant completed an educator preparation program and student teaching outside of Georgia, he or she would apply for the Induction Pathway 3 or IN3. Here are the steps for applying. Create a MyPSC account. From the MyPSC account, complete and submit the Georgia Professional Standards Commission Initial Certification application. Once the Professional Standards Commission evaluation is complete, the applicant may receive a COE. Once the COE is received, present that to the pre-K program or the LUA. Here is a list of the items that should be included in the IN3 application packet: the Initial Certification application, the Out-of-State Teaching Certificate, or the Approved Program Completion Form, which should be completed by the college or university attended, verification of lawful presence documentation, official transcripts from all colleges and universities attended, and the content exam from the former state or passing scores from the GACE content exam. Now that you know the steps to apply for a certificate and you've obtained a certificate of eligibility, what's next? What's next if you're a teacher? What should you do as a director? Well, if you are a teacher, you would first secure a lead teacher position in a Georgia's pre-K program. And you would present the certificate of eligibility to the pre-K director. After that, you would apply for the appropriate induction certificate by submitting the certification update application. Those are the steps for teachers. If you are a director, you will receive from the teacher the certificate of eligibility. You will then complete the employer assurance form and submit it to the Georgia Professional Standards Commission. Now, it's important to note that the Induction Certificate is issued after the Certification Update Application and Employer Assurance Form are received. The Induction Certificate is valid for 3 years only. It's important to note that. And teachers can print it by going to their My PSC account. After the Induction Certificate is issued, here are next steps. Teachers should work 3 years as a lead pre-K teacher because 3 years experience within the last 5 years is required for a professional certificate. After earning 3 years of experience as a lead teacher, teachers should submit the certification update application to apply for a professional certificate. They should also submit the experience verification form and the employer assurance form. The experience verification form must be completed by the pre-K project director and should verify 3 out of the last 5 years of experience. The director should indicate if the experience was satisfactory or unsatisfactory based on the teacher's performance evaluations for the school years indicated. The experience does not have to be earned at the same pre-K site, therefore, multiple copies of the form are acceptable in that circumstance. The employer assurance form should also be completed by the pre-K project director to verify employment. That's if the teacher is employed. If the teacher is not employed, of course, the employer assurance form is not necessary. And if this is the case, a certificate of eligibility will be issued, or a COE, instead of a professional certificate. The certificate of eligibility simply indicates that the teacher is not employed. So there are 2 professional certificate types. There is the performance-based professional and the standard professional. What is the difference between the 2? Well, a performance-based certificate may be issued to teachers who have been evaluated at least 2 years on the statewide Teacher Keys Effectiveness System. That means pre-K teachers in public schools, because they will be evaluated on the statewide Teacher Keys Effectiveness System, they may be issued a performance-based certificate. The standard professional certificate may be issued to teachers who are not evaluated on the TKES. So in other words, a pre-K teacher working in a child care facility, not a public school, may be issued the standard professional certificate. It's important to note that both the performance-based and the standard professional are classified as professional certificates. What about individuals who have not completed an Educator Preparation Program? Because we talked about those that have completed one. But what about those who have not completed an Educator Preparation Program but have a Bachelor's Degree? What are they eligible for? Well, if an individual did not complete an Educator Preparation Program, but they have a Bachelor's Degree, then this individual would be eligible to apply for the Induction Pathway 4, or the IN4. To apply for the IN4, the applicant holding the bachelor's degree must have an overall GPA of 2.5 within the bachelor's degree. And that's if the degree was earned within the last 10 years. If the degree is older than 10 years, then the 2.5 GPA requirement is waived. Create a My PSC account by going to the Georgia Professional Standards Commission website. The applicant must pass the required GACE exams and secure a lead pre-K teaching position in a Georgia's pre-K program. Once the applicant is hired, he or she should apply for the IN4 certificate by going to their MyPSC account. Here is a list of items required for the IN4 application packet: the initial certification application, verification of lawful presence documentation, official transcripts from all colleges and universities attended, verification of having met the following GACE exams: the program admission assessment, the content assessment, and the Georgia Educator Ethics Assessment program entry. The employer assurance form completed by the pre-K project director must also be included in the IN4 application packet. It's important to note that the IN4 applicant must be employed. Therefore, a certificate of eligibility, or a COE, will not be issued to the IN4 applicant. Instead, the applicant may receive the IN4 certificate. The Induction Pathway 4 certificate is valid for 3 years. Teachers should complete a state-approved Educator Preparation Program during the 3-year validity period. After completion of the Educator Preparation Program and 3 years of experience have been earned, the teacher can then apply for the professional certificate by submitting the certification update application and the supporting documents to verify program completion. Teaching certificates are not automatically renewed, and the Professional Standards Commission does not notify individual teachers or employers of expiring certificates. Therefore, it is the responsibility of the teacher to know when his or her certificate expires. Teachers must complete the renewal process through the Professional Standards Commission in order to renew their certificate prior to the expiration date noted on the certificate. Here are the steps teachers should take to renew their certificate. Submit the following: the certification update application, verification of lawful presence documents if not submitted previously, and the employer assurance form, which should be completed by the pre-K project director. Some additional things to keep in mind regarding the renewal process: if the certificate expired in 2010 or earlier, submit one of the following: 6 semester hours of college coursework, or 10 Georgia Professional Standards Commission approved continuing education units, or CEUs, or submit 100 clock hours of Bright from the Start state-approved training. And this is the requirement only for certificates that expired in 2010 or earlier. Renewal credits must be earned within 5 years of the date of the application. Let's go over the process for submitting documentation, how to submit, and where documents are located. The first step in submitting documentation is creating a MyPSC account. To do that, go to www.gapsc.edu www.gapsc.com. In the upper right-hand corner, look for Login, Register. Click there and follow the instructions to create a MyPSC account. Once the MyPSC account registration is complete, teachers will see their name and certificate ID in the upper right-hand corner. In the center of the page, you'll know the process is complete when you see Welcome to MyPSC. Along the top of the MyPSC homepage, on the red bar, teachers will see options for online transactions. To submit an application, simply click the Applications tab and follow the steps. For download forms or forms you would submit in the mail, go to the PSC website, look for popular links on the left, click Download Forms, and here teachers and directors can find forms that must be completed and mailed to the Professional Standards Commission. Various forms will be highlighted in blue. Teachers and employers should click on the applicable forms and complete them by using black ink. Paper applications must be mailed to the Georgia Professional Standards Commission, and I'll share that address with you shortly. Georgia's pre-K teachers and program directors should make the Professional Development Registry, or the PDR, their first point of contact if they have questions about the certification process. The contact information for the PDR is listed here. The phone lines are open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. If you still need to contact the Certification Division, you may do so at the contact info listed here under the Georgia Professional Standards Commission. The certification phone lines are open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Although the lines are open at this time, the email address is always monitored, so if you need to contact someone outside of those phone line hours and days, you may do so by sending an email to mail@gapsc.com. But again, for Georgia's pre-K program, teachers and directors, the first point of contact should be with the Professional Development Registry. If you have information or documentation that needs to be mailed, mail that to Georgia Professional Standards Commission, 200 Piedmont Avenue, Suite 1702, Atlanta, Georgia, 30334. This concludes the Georgia Professional Standards Commission certification overview for Georgia's pre-K program. Thank you so much for attending.